All right, we are getting started here. Sorry, you caught me getting dressed. I did have clothes on, I just didn't have a shirt on. But yo, shit, I ain't afraid of my body. You know what I'm saying? We gotta make sure this mic is on. We gotta take care of our body and make sure that things are good. Okay, cool. I got a good mic. Okay, cool. So we gotta make sure that our body is good, and by doing that, we can't be afraid of our bodies and shit like that. So anyway, with that being said, health is wealth. Health is the new wealth of 2025. Because the reason why I say that is because you can have money. You can have all the money in the world. And if your health is bad, that money don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you have to think of it like that. So just keep that in mind. We are on a few different platforms. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and we're going to be on a few groups. We're going to jump into a few groups today. So it's going to be some very exciting things here. It's not going to be long, but we're going to try to make the best of it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. My name is Johnny, and this is the Johnny Show. Y'all listen, we just had this, I don't know, I can't really say it was a holiday. Well, I guess Black Friday thing, and a lot of people donated to business, and not donated. I believe a lot of donations going on, but a lot of people buy products. You know what I'm saying? Like I just sell products. You know, I don't know what's going on. My blackness didn't count or something like that because we might be supporting black businesses, but mine didn't get supported. My DJ business got supported, and photography business got supported, but none of my products. So you know that was a downer. But you know, selling the products and things like that helps promote this podcast and keeps things going and stuff like that. So definitely we appreciate anybody who could donate. As a matter of fact, while I'm talking about that, I'm going to put my banner up here so you can kind of see where you can donate to. And then also you can leave your comments, questions, suggestions, because this is stuff that we need to talk about. I know people don't want to talk about it and they kind of shy away from stuff like this, but y'all, stuff is about to change. If you don't know, you're finna find out real quick. We got about a month left before you see a lot of changes happening. Whether it's good or bad, that's up to you to decide. I just report on it. So anyway, here we go. Johnny Show. Let's get it popping. All right, y'all. We back in full effect, and I want to thank everybody for tapping in to even kind of see what's going down. I have people who were interested in my products, like my hair products and stuff like that. So hopefully, I mean, this is a takeoff because as you can see, this stuff works. So you know, thick hair. You know, it's not thin. It's thick hair. I didn't put my do rag on last night, but you know, it's nice hair. It's manageable. It's wavy. My beard is nice and manageable and wavy and things like that. So you know, it's not nappy. You know, so all the way around. You know, so you can see the waves. Anyway, I'm not gonna get the bragging and stuff like that, but I mean, very good hair products. You can highlight me if you're interested. I don't answer a lot of questions anymore, just to let people know that it is natural and it works. It's natural and it works. That's really all we need to know. Bragging and stuff like that. Because what happens is you answer questions and people start asking questions, and they never buy. Like, I'm not a retail store. My time is money. I got shit to do. It's either you want to do it, or you don't want to do it. With the weight loss price, either you want to lose weight or you don't want to lose weight. You can't be like, oh, I don't know if I want to lose weight. I don't know if I want to take this product. Well, that's fine. Move on. You know, I'm going to do some informational things so people can see it all in the whole. But I'm not going to do an individual one-on-one unless you're really ready to spend money. You got the money in hand. I'm ready to go. Then I definitely will answer questions for you. So that's what's up. I appreciate it. My song getting a new buzz. My new song getting a new buzz. Make sure y'all check it out. Theme is definitely dope. So Y'all tap in, tap in. We trying to grow and be big as we can on this platform. Um, and like I said, this is going to be in some groups here, so we want to take advantage of some of the groups that we are in and just kind of announce the word. So give me a second on that. But um, y'all, things about to change. We are entering into a new version of America. I mean, I know it's a version of America, but more of a. It's not in the middle anymore. It's more to the right. And right, what I mean, it's like conservative things like that. And as you guys can see, excuse me as I'm sharing these things, but as you guys can see, like with affirmative action is no longer a thing. And some people, even if you're not 100% against it or things like that, people don't really see it taking effect right now. But they will, though. These things, we are going to see these things start taking effect, whether we like it or not. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. That's the same thing with the deportation. And those type of things are going to happen. How big it's going to be, I guess that would be the question. But if it's going to happen or not is not the question at all. So you may have people that you are close to or that you live next to that may be getting deported because they're not legal. You may not know that because we don't go around questioning people if they're legal or not. So somebody that lives next to you, whether they are Mexican or whatever nationality they may be African and kind of snuck their way over here or got through the system or something like that and just start living American life. Um, you may see not only see them get snatched up, but you may see their whole families get snatched up because they are saying that even like if the kids are born here, normally the kids are supposed to be American citizens. Even if you snuck in and your kids are born here, then that makes them an American citizen. But um, as you can see, I don't have the clip, but the guy talked about families can go too. Whole families can go. And this is not nothing I'm just saying like off the top because I'm like, honestly, this is what this man specifically said. Whole families can go. So the topic that we're talking about today is DEI programs have been completely demolished at Walmart. And other companies are going to follow. Other major companies, Target, all these major companies who made a vow to make sure that people who look like myself would be able to get into the workforce and have a good job. So I could be a janitor or I could be a manager, depending on how hard I work. But now you have to where these DEI, and DEI means diversion, equity, and inclusion. When I was in college, we had a program called the Harvesting Dreams, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And it felt good, y'all. I mean, there was nothing sinister about these programs because it made me feel as a black person that there were people out there that was looking out for my best interest to make sure that if I perform, then I would have a fair chance. That to me is what diversity, equity, inclusion means, is that it's allowing me to have a fair chance because we could be the smartest. Every black person know that you have to run 10 times, 20 times, 50 times harder than your neighbor or your people who work in the same area with you. You have to run harder than them to even get to where they're at. But before, like in the 60s, in the 50s, it didn't matter how hard you ran. You probably still were going to get the job. It was going to be passed up to give to somebody who knew somebody, who uncle was somebody, who cousin was somebody, any of that stuff. And that's what was happening. All of the good jobs were going to people who were already in position, who held high positions. Just give it to their nephews. Give it to my cousin. I don't have to go looking for a Johnny. Why get a Johnny? if diversity, equity, inclusion is not included in there, then I don't have to go get no black person. I can have a company. If Walmart wanted to, they can have a company with all white people. And I'm not saying they're gonna do that. But the option is there. The option is there. So you think about like a Walmart and like a Washington or something like that, or some deep. And I'm not saying they're racist in Washington, but just think of like a Walmart in Washington, where they were like, you know what, we just, we really don't. And you got black people working over there. I know because I have family members working over there. You'd be like, no, I really don't want no black people working over here. This, or they get mad at somebody black because they had a disagreement. It's like, you know what, we just need to weed all the black people out. And then you have a Walmart over in Washington, which is all white people. So imagine going to shop there, and they don't really try. When you get rid of DEI programs, you get rid of the training of how to deal with black people or how to get along with black people or get along with everybody. When you're wiping away those programs, you're not gonna have that no longer. And we're gonna talk about that next days, because now once you get rid of those programs, then you're gonna come back. People gonna come back with lawsuits. It's lawsuits to start this off, to wipe these off the table, because people are pissed. They like, we get too many opportunities is what they're saying. So if you're a black person, I don't understand how any of y'all could be against this, because basically what it's saying is that people are upset that we are getting too many opportunities. It's enough is enough. As if we're giving all opportunities in the world. The little opportunities that we're given are going to be challenged. That's not just with Walmart workers, Walmart managers, Walmart CEOs who could possibly be black. That's also with like the trucking industry. People that bring they don't have to hire black truckers anymore. There's like only like 5-10% of black truckers anyway, but now they don't have to hire that. They could be all white truckers working for Walmart, and there's nothing in their policy that says they have to. They're wiping away anything that talks about wokeness, anything in their training anymore. All that stuff is wiped away, is gone. So what you have is a reversal back to the 70s. In the 60s. I'm sorry, y'all, but when they say make America great again, what era do you think they're talking about? What era do you think it was great for them? This is making it great again for them. I don't understand what you're not seeing. I mean, there's solutions. We're going to have to get into the stock market. You got to get into the stock market. You got to get into Bitcoin. I'm trying. Any money that I have next year, I'm going to start putting it into Bitcoin. Hopefully before the end of the year is over. I might have to skip past Christmas this year, give not so expensive gifts, and put every last bit of money I got in Bitcoin. Because that seems to be the way out. Because I'm telling y'all, if you don't have a lot of money, if you're on the poor side, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for all of us. If we're in the middle class, any middle class people, I don't care if you're making $100,000. See, and this is what I said with the females. Yes, you were making $100,000 a year, but because you have no partner, you don't want no man, your $100,000 can't jump to $150,000 or $200,000 because y'all both make $100,000. So now you're lower on the middle class, and we are going to experience some pains. I'm telling y'all, anybody who don't have money in 2015 on, you're going to experience pains. Elon Musk told us. He put his head down. He's like, damn. He said, it's going to be hard. He said, it's going to be hard for people who ain't got money for a while, because we're trying to reconstruct America. We're trying to make America look totally different than what we see it as today. And when you say make America great again, if you are black, I'm asking you, when was it great for you? In the 90s? In the 2000s? In the 70s? The 60s? That's when Martin Luther King was getting assassinated. So when was it great for us? You go before then, then you look at ourselves. You look at slavery. When was it great? That's the only question I'm asking. To them, it was great when we didn't have we didn't have a helping hand to help us make sure that we navigate. I think some people said like one of our biggest things is that we're the only race that don't have our own thing. And that hurts us so bad. We don't have our own. So I got this video I want to show y'all, and this is going to talk more about it. It's going to explain it a little bit better than I am, because when I talk about the subject, it's just crazy, man. The type of opportunities that we fought years, 50 years, Martin Luther King, all this stuff, it was in vain because it lasted for a little bit. But you have to understand, people were pissed. The day that we started getting rights, and I mean, not rights, I shouldn't say that, go that far, but the day that we started getting opportunities like the DEI, there have been people that have been straight pissed, impatient. Like, I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure we get rid of this. And that's what they're doing. So, if we have people who fought and died for it, you know it was important. I'm going to say that again. If you have people who fought and died, assassinated, killed, beat, for these type of things to be in place, you know it was important. You know it had to be there. And now it's gone. Who else gonna die? Who in this generation gonna die for something like this again? As much opportunities, as much pacified as we get, as much as we enjoy our life, who will be willing to die? Who gets shot in the head like a Martin Luther King for any of this stuff to be revitalized? Man, we are I'm telling y'all. Woo! You guys will have to see. I mean, because a lot of y'all just don't know. So, I mean, we're going to have to live it out. We just have to see what happens and hope for the best. So, I hope God touches people's hearts. And if there's anything evil or unjustly they're trying to do, I hope that God touches their heart sooner rather than later. But anyway, here we go. This is a video. And y'all tell me what y'all think about this. We're on a few different platforms. Give me your comments, suggestions, questions, anything about the show. I would definitely appreciate it. So let's watch this video, and then it's going to show more. Let me know what y'all think. Play the video. It's not playing. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, let me do this. Let's just reboot it.
DEI policies. Why? Because right-wing conservatives have been targeting a number of public companies, telling them they don't like what their support for transgender, LGBTQ, as well as Black folks and other minorities. This is the Walmart U.S. CEO speaking this morning on CBS This Morning, explaining their decision. Of course, Walmart is America's largest employer, one of the biggest companies in the world. So this is a huge decision. Listen.
Well, first of all, good morning and thanks for having me. It's great to be here. I'm in Houston, Texas, and our friends with location, so it's exciting to be in the store this time of year. First, let me say, like many companies all across the United States, we've been on a journey and we continue to be on a journey. And what we're trying to do is to ensure that every customer, every associate feels welcome here to shop and to feel like they belong. And that term belong, we've been talking about belonging now for almost 2 years. Early 2023, we started talking about belonging. And we're going to continue to make the best decisions we can that makes everyone, our customers, our associates, feel like this is an environment they can shop in and thrive in.
Is diversity among your suppliers still important to you at Walmart, John?
Well, starting with our company back in 1962, we were a small business, a single store that operated out of Rogers, Arkansas. And so we'll continue to do the things that we can do to ensure that small suppliers have a path to being successful, not only at Walmart, but in their business in total. You know, every year we really focus on made in the USA. About 2/3 of what we sell is either made, grown, or assembled right here in the United States. We have a program every summer called Open Call, where we welcome in small suppliers and we welcome in people that have an idea, that are an entrepreneur and they want to learn. So we're going to continue to lean into ensuring that we provide the very best pathways for small businesses, our suppliers, to be successful here in the store. If I had more time, I could take you around the store and show you a few of those examples, but there are a lot of them, and there'll continue to be more.
Okay, so first of all, you saw right there, he didn't answer Gayle King's question. He didn't answer it at all. There also was this $100 million initiative that they had announced after the death of George Floyd. They're getting rid of that. It was they also were funding what it was called a Center for Racial Equity, a nonprofit that Walmart launched in 2020. It's supposed to be a 5-year initiative, and so that's also being shuttered. Let's just be real, Randy. What's going on here? This is a part of the attack against critical race theory, part of the attack on affirmative action. This is all about the right-wing agenda. They have been targeting Harley Davidson, John Deere, numerous companies. They've been targeting law firms. This is what this is all about. And the problem is corporate America, they're showing how gutless they are. They're showing how they are scared. Oh my God, we don't want to be attacked by Trump and the right. And so that's all this is. And I remember I was in Los Angeles. It was NAACP panel, and it was a DEI panel, and I was going hard, and people were like, dog, why are you going so hard? I said, because I'm trying to tell y'all this is about to end.
Like, you could see it, the writings on the wall, that it was about to end and stuff like that, because people are too upset. They're doing like lawsuits. They're challenging like even the Supreme Court about these programs and things like that. All of this stuff that we enjoy, like I said, people fought for, all this stuff is now gone. And I don't know how you feel about that. I think like a lot of stuff should be gone when we know racism is gone, completely washed out, but racism is still alive and kicking today. And so in these programs now, in this type of environment, I don't think it's a good thing.
I said, unless you have a strong counterattack, I said, these white corporations, their knees are going to buckle. They are not going to stand up to these right wingers. And guess what? All of that stuff, and here we are. It'll be 5 years in May since George Floyd was killed. And I told folk, I said, I'll be shocked if we get to the 5th year. We barely had 3 years.
Right. And I want people to know, when you talk about attacking, it's not just that they are writing articles or doing interviews. They are filing lawsuits after lawsuits after lawsuits. These small law firms, but they're powerful, are filing these lawsuits that companies then have to fight against, saying that woke policies or any DEI initiatives are in fact discriminatory, which is completely the opposite of what the problem is. DEI was there to fix discriminatory problems, but they have flipped it around and are using again the term reverse discrimination, reverse racism, which is no such thing as reverse racism. It's not even a real concept. It does not exist, but this is what is the problem. And these corporations are buckling under the pressure. And I really want people to understand the impact of that, because what that means is that a person trying to get a job at Walmart, yes, we understand that's going to be an issue, but also a person who's trying to sell their products in Walmart. They are not going to actively seek out or retain the people they have now that are under any underrepresented group. That's women, that's LGBTQIA, that's Black, Latino, that's Asian, that's people with disabilities, that's women. And so what they're saying is what they're saying is they're evening out the playing ground, because they have said, are trying to suggest that we are all have equal chances in America. We all have equal chance to make it. But what DEI does is it gives us an unfair advantage. Now, it is laughable that I, as a Black woman, has an unfair advantage over a heterosexual white man. We know that's a joke, right? We see who the president of Walmart is, but that's what they're suggesting. And so, of course, the opportunity for me to even sell, to supply, is going to be a problem. But they're to advertise on shows like yours, Martin, Roland, is completely not going to exist. They're going to make it where what they have is what they consider a fair playing ground, and everybody's on it. I mean, it is quite scary that here we have the largest employer saying we no longer will have DEI initiatives, which also means they won't be looking at it. So they won't be looking at how they're functioning as a store. So if the store has employees that 95% of them are white and male, that's fine. There's no one there to check them on it. And that is what the workforce used to look like. DEI was supposed to work against that. And it was the only reason that it was formed, is because of biases, people hire like people. And because of our history in this country, most of the people in charge are cis-het white males, and they hire white males, and they do business with white males, and they bring in suppliers that are white males, and they pay more to white males. What they're saying though is, no, we now as white males feel as if we've been discriminated against just for the little bit, the little slice of pie that these DEI initiatives offer to people. And so we'll sue you if they continue. Also, what's scary is that they're wiping out any kind of education. So you're going to have a workforce of people who are not educated on how to deal with people that are different from them. And so the workforce, I promise you, will be hostile. They won't be, if you do get a job there, now it's more difficult if you're from an underrepresented group, but when you do get the job, the chances of being treated well, that you feel included and like you're in a safe environment, those chances have gone down. So if Walmart has done it, the sad thing is that other corporations are definitely going to follow suit. So I feel very nervous for everyone involved. I mean, I don't think people, like, again, I know I'm going on and on, but even like truckers, I mean, there's the people who bring in the supplies from people. There are contracts that say, okay, we're going to give 5% of our contracts to minority truckers. Nope. That's gone now. Even that 5% is gone. And so it wasn't like we were getting much in the first place, but it's now non-existent. And even the term DEI, they can't even use the term. They have made it where it cannot be used in any materials or discussed at all. And the term Latinx. If you want to talk about the level of control that these law firms that are doing these lawsuits are having, they're making them so scared to even say the word, much less implement policies. It's dangerous. And, we really need to start having some discussions as Black organizations and as individuals of how we counteract this.
This is all because this right winger right here, Robbie Starbuck, hit them last week and said, I'm going to be releasing a story on all of your woke policies. And so right here, last week I told execs at Walmart that I was doing a story on wokeness there. Instead, we had productive conversations to find solutions. And so Walmart totally caved. Walmart will no longer participate in the human rights campaign's what they call woke corporate equality index. Products: monitor the Walmart marketplace to identify and remove inappropriate sexual and or transgender products marketed to children. Review all funding of Pride and other events to avoid funding inappropriate sexualized content targeting kids. Y'all, let me be real clear. This ain't just about transgender, y'all. They want them to stop funding black groups as well. Walmart not extending their racial equity center. Supposed to be 5 years, didn't even get to the 4th year. Look at this here. We will evaluate supplier diversity programs and ensure they do not provide preferential treatment and benefits to suppliers based on diversity. We don't have quotas and won't going forward. Financing eligibility will no longer be predicated on providing certain demographic data. Do y'all see? Walmart will no longer use Latinx. Walmart will discontinue racial equity training through the Racial Equity Institute. Walmart will discontinue the use of DEI as a term while assuring a respectful and supportive environment. Our focus is on belonging for all associates and customers. Total bullshit. And so here's a company, y'all. And again, they're gloating. Look what he says. We've now changed policy at companies worth over $2 trillion. That's what they do. Look at this. Our campaigns are now so effective that we're getting the biggest companies on earth to change their policies without me even posting a story outlining their woke policies. Companies can clearly see that America wants normalcy back. The era of wokeness is dying right in front of our eyes. The landscape of corporate America is quickly shifting to sanity and neutrality. We're now the trend, not the anomaly. Joe, did I not call it?
Yeah, I mean,
I try. I've been telling everybody since 2009, we're living in the age of white minority resistance. And these white folks like this guy right here, they want to get rid of any program that helps black folks or any other minority group. And in their minds, oh, no, we don't want just 95% of the money. We want all of the money.
Right. And so much so that if without, soliciting, openly certain companies and suppliers, that you get to 5%, the Walmarts of the world, they might get sued just because they got to 5%. And that underlying that is nothing short of entitlement. For so many in this society have had, particularly white folks, have had the force of tradition, the force of legacy, the force of relationships, affirmative action, and things like that. And DEI were about having the force of law because we didn't have anything else. And so switching that back is not about, restoring fairness. What it's about is regaining a lost advantage. If things go back to the way they were, that means that there are more advantage, and therefore there's expectation and entitlement tied into that. So even someone that gets to a healthy percentage of minorities, people of color, women, et cetera, even though there's an argument that particularly white women will continue to benefit and be on the privileged side, which is why they frankly voted the way that they did, they'll get sued. They will get sued for that very reason. So, it's a serious problem. And, we're going to have to decide what we're going to do and how we're going to deal with it, because what they're trying to do is basically go back to the Stone Age and say all of this is ours. All of this belongs to us. And that's where we should be.
Mustafa, I guess, have you seen anything from the NAACP? Anything from the Urban League? Anything from these civil rights groups? I mean, is anybody it's just gonna be like, oh, okay, oh well, all right. So what are they gonna do? Have another panel?
I mean, you hit it on the head. You and I, we often are in alignment with the way that we think about these issues. Frederick Douglass once said that power concedes nothing without a demand. It never has, and it never will. And we've seen these companies moving away from DEI and a number of other sets of actions and policies that are critical for the healing of our nation. But yet, you don't see anybody in the street marching. You don't see anybody talking about economic boycotts and taking away resources from these folks, because the other folks on the other side of the equation are saying, yes, we will do this. Yes, we'll take you to court. Yes, we'll do all these other types of things. But then on the side of folks who say that they are trying to actually move this country forward, we don't see that. People are silent. So when you're silent, people think that you are complicit. And they think that you are not gonna, you're not gonna stand up, you're not gonna push back. Yeah, there are always a few voices that do that, but let's be very serious. There has been no strategic plan about how you were going to address these types of things. So people think you're playing. And when they think you're playing, they're not going to take you serious, and they're going to continue to move forward the agenda that they have. So if you want change to happen, then that means you got to put some skin in the game. It means it's not going to be easy. I understand, because I came from a rural community. I saw Walmart move into an area and take away all the mom and pop shops because they couldn't compete with prices. But we've got this dynamic now where folks have got to decide, what are you going to do in this moment? Folks have showed you their cards. And people are still just sitting back saying, well, it can't possibly ever get that bad. They're taking away your wealth because they put the pretty label on it, right? They put this veneer over top about belonging and all the things that, yes, we all agree that those are important. But then when you pull back the veneer, you see that contracting and subcontracting opportunities are going to be taken away. So that means if you talk about the racial wealth gap in this country, but you're allowing corporations to say that we are no longer going to give consideration to the businesses that have often been disinvested in, then I don't know how serious you actually are about trying to make real change happen. It almost seems like someone has to die. When our dear brother George Floyd, had that lynching that happened in front of America and it was caught on camera, then everybody got, and they kind of got motivated there for a moment, and they were willing to do things and stand up and push back and march and show up. And then it began to fade away. And the other folks who've had these long-term strategic plans about how they were going to snatch power because they watched what happened in South Africa with apartheidism, and they watched these other countries, how folks have been able to institute things to actually institutionalize racism, to institutionalize poverty. They know what they need to do. But yet we still sit back like they're not going to take it as far as they are. They even put Project 2025 in front of your face, and people didn't even take that serious. And now here in a few weeks, you're going to see how real it really is. So this is just another piece of the puzzle that they're putting together to weaken you, not just in this moment, but they're looking at decades to come because they understand what happens with the browning of America. It's in your book. Other folks have talked about it as well. And that's where we are right now. And that's why I get frustrated. But at the same time, my frustration is because I know we have power. My grandmother says you have power unless you give it away. And I watch us give our power away every day. They continue to destabilize. They continue to just take these pieces away, and people just busy twerking, busy worrying about what the reality shows are doing, worried about, and don't get me wrong, I was an athlete, what my team just did. And the reality of what's really going on in this moment that will impact your children's children, you continue to stay silent. So if you're going to stay silent, then you get what you get.
Hi, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Fanbase is a free to download, free to use, next generation social media platform that allows anyone to have followers and subscribers on the same page. Fanbase was built through investment dollars from equity crowdfunding from the Jobs Act. People just like you help build Fanbase, and we're looking for more people to help build Fanbase. We are currently raising $17 million in a Regulation A crowdfund on Start Engine. We've already crossed $2.1 million, but we're looking to raise more capital from people just like you that deserve the opportunity to invest in early stage startups without having to be accredited investors. So right now, I'd like you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares.